Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a lip, and I'm back with a little bit more combat with the exclamation point by Compass Games. We're going to jump right back into where we left off. As far as the previous video is concerned, I did have some comments about some points where I had backtracked a little bit, and evidently I wasn't as clear as I thought I was, that I was backtracking and kind of redoing stuff. So I'll make sure to be uber clear about that if I backtrack, if I realize I missed a step and I'm going back to fix that. So I tend to leave these little mistakes in though when I do catch them, because I want you guys to see it. That way you kind of learn from my goofs rather than having your own goofs in there. So let's jump back in. We're picking up with the next turn. We got our guys up here. Baker platoon squad over here. They're trying to move in. We got one guy that we spotted from the blue Germans over there, but thankfully he did not spot any of us. All of us are still good, but we do need to get our initiative set up for this following turn here. All right, so I don't have any cards in my hand. Let me grab my little player aid here. So we go back here to step one, and I get to draw, and it says if I do not currently have any cards in my hand. Now they specifically talk about this in the rule book a couple of times, that when it comes to cards in your hand, if you plan the previous turn, that you don't get those cards directly into your hand until after this step. So I would draw a card and still get those cards if I had planned. Now I didn't plan, so whatever card I draw is going to be my initiative. We'll pull it off the top. Throw it down. Again, we don't have to worry about events because that's going to be ignored for this scenario. So, well, Baker's early on. Unfortunately, that is bad. I wanted Baker to go later. Oh, this is going to throw out my stuff. That's all right, though. And Abel's going later. Charlie's not in it yet. All right, so now I do have to put down my orders first. I did do that out of phase in the first one just because I wanted to show you guys the initiative track and how the impulse system and all that worked. Now, let's see. I wanted to have Abel go first so they could run up and Baker could do shoot. Big thing is I wanted Blue to activate first. That way it would be a little bit later before they were getting involved. But they're going to get stuck in anyway because I'm going to have some shooting going on this turn. So for Private, who do we have up here? We've got Private Pitas. He's going to continue, I think, with his sneaky. All right, we're going to stick with the sneaky. Pop him over to here to this tree line. That way I can get him there, have some cover, have a line of sight to this house just in case I need it, and be able to cover any enemies coming from this direction. Maybe run him over to that house. Let's see, if he were to sprint, could he get there? 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he could get there. But he would definitely be spotted. That would alert some people. But I don't have a whole lot of time. I gotta get stuck in kind of quick. Oh, if it was him, I'd probably do it. But this guy's got better abilities. He's got a rifle grenade, and he's a pretty good shot. So I don't really want to risk his life just yet. So we'll sneak with him. We're going to stick with it. Put him in the tree line first, and then we'll see what happens. Next, guys, we're going to do some shooty. Get that going on here. So for my bar, or BAR, we're going to have some suppressive fire going down. Set that right there on him. Key thing with suppressive fire is you cannot actually damage the enemy. The most you're going to get out of it is morale checks. Basically, you're shooting a whole bunch to cause them to put their heads down, just like normal suppressive fire in real life. You want them to not really be paying attention. Thing is, in real life, suppressive fire can still kill someone if they're dumb enough to poke their head up. Other fella, we're going to have him do some aimed fire. All right, so he's actually trying to kill. He's shooting over here towards Blue. He's going to be doing some suppressive fire. Now, the key thing also in the difference between these two is that aimed fire, he will get a defensive bonus for being in the building. Suppressive fire, he doesn't get that bonus for being in the building, But there is a natural penalty on suppressive fire of -2 anyway, which is what I think would be applied from the building. So it's kind of a moot point, but it does reduce your chances. At least you don't have to worry about the terrain that they're in affecting it. All right, so as far as Able platoon is concerned down over here, we're going to have our first private do a sprint. That's 7 total hexes of movement. And I'm thinking I want to get him over here somewhere, just depending. Now, the thing is, when he hits rough terrain, he has to stop and duck back. These hedges count as rough terrain, but these trees do not. So I can actually have him run into the tree line, maybe get here, fire off in that direction, or fire over there. We'll have to see how that plays out. And I think the other two we're going to keep with the evade movement. I could do a running gun, but I kind of want them to keep their heads down. My thinking is Baker is putting some fire over to keep the Germans' heads down, and I don't want to awaken too many. So if we put evades on both of these guys, that'll get them to where I want to get. All right, sorry, I had a quick camera malfunction there with my little gyro. It's been still giving me problems. Anyway, thinking I want the leader being in between the two. Hopefully his command radius might help with some of their checks if they need it later. Plus he's tough, so that's what the little T back in the bottom corner represents, which does make him a little more survivable in combat. So if he goes up around this way, I might put him in the hedges right here. That way he's got a close in line of fire. He's got a submachine gun, a little grease gun. He can put some rounds down, and Able can keep maybe moving around, maybe clear these guys out and then move over towards the building that is our goal. And the other one, I'm thinking about having him run over here to this building. That way provide a little bit of a crossfire. That way we got fire coming from here, fire coming from here, fire coming from here, and they can all kind of keep an eye on each other. That's my hope. We'll see if it plays out that way. All right, so now we've got to come back over here to this side and draw some cards for the enemy. And I'm going to go ahead and do this for blue and red. Let's see, their initiative is going to be a 27. For red and for blue, it's going to be 91. Of course, I wanted blue going early, and they get high numbers. So let's go ahead and arrange our impulse track here real quick. We know that Baker's going to be first still. And then next up would be red. Is it not going to change at all? Yeah. Red, and then actually blue and Able are going to switch. So that's going to be our impulse track for this turn. Not too bad. The only thing that happened was blue switched. I wanted blue going early. That way they wouldn't have like an impulse this round, because when they got shot at, basically I wanted blue here. So when Baker was firing at them, it would already be past one of their impulses. But as it is, it means they're going to activate just a little bit sooner. Not a horrible deal, but it'll give them a chance to get stuck in a little quicker than I would have preferred. All right, so first impulse. I got to make sure and do this right this time. Neither of the top two guys are doing anything. It's both zeros for him. His aimed fire is a little bit slower. So not going to be able to shoot this round. He's only going to shoot twice, the second and the fourth impulse. The only thing Baker's going to be doing is some suppressive fire. So we're going to have his suppressive fire going over here against him, hopefully causing a morale check. Now, since fire is going on, these two guys are both going to become alerted. And the reason they're becoming alerted is there is gunfire within 10 hexes of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I think it'd be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So 9 hexes away. If they were just a touch farther, it would be one thing. They wouldn't activate, but this guy's just in range. So within the 10 hexes. And we look at our BAR. Not going to have any modifier for range because he is in the 4 to 12, which is, basically prime fire. And this is a part that I looked and I couldn't find anything. So the way I understand this is it's pretty much player's choice on how many dice I roll. And the way this works is, all right, so looking at your grease gun, rate of fire is 3, which means you're just going to roll 3 dice each time. Rate of fire of 1 or 2 means I can choose to roll 1 or 2 dice. Now, the thing is you can potentially go low ammo, right? If you roll a 9, then you get low ammo, and then if you do it again, then you get out of ammo, which means he wouldn't be shooting the rest of this round. Now, I want him putting off a lot of shots. I could roll anywhere between 4 and 8 dice, depending on how many I want to roll in this. And I'm kind of like, how bad is my luck going to be? Am I going to roll that natty 9 on the first round? And they do specify that you can't roll the dice at the same time. You do need to roll them one at a time when you're doing an attack like this. That way, if the first die is a 9, then the second die is a 9, then you would be out of ammo. And you know what? I'm thinking about it. I think I might just start off a little slow. We'll start with a single die. Single die for the first impulse just to get things started. Now, to cause him to take a morale check, I have to hit my weapon score or under after all modifiers. Modifier is going to be a -2 for the suppressive fire. So let's roll, which means I need a 3 or under, which remember, zeros are good here. And I think I get a morale boost if I roll a natty 0. I'll have to check that one again, or a potential morale boost. 5, which would have been good, but nope, it missed because of the modifier. So I missed do not cause a morale check on him, but obviously, like I said, these two have become alerted because some gunfires come in their direction. Still don't know who this guy is, but he's alerted. Now, the key thing is they're unprepared based on the start of the scenario, which means if they were prepared, I would go ahead and draw orders for them, all right? As it is, I won't do that until their next impulse phase. I'm going to read it again real quick, though, to make sure that it's not the next time that they would be activated, because that's going to be this turn. I think it's going to be the second impulse, but we'll see. Okay, so yeah, I was right. Unfortunately, due to the way the impulse thing worked out this turn, that's why I was wanting them earlier rather than later. So when it comes to their time to be activated, he would be activated 4th, right? So we've got Baker, red, Abel, blue as far as this impulse. He would get an order. So now he is going to get an order. And actually, he's going to get an order as well. But they're not going to act on it because they're unprepared until the following impulse. So they're actually not going to do anything until the second impulse. But had he already been activated this round, that would mean that he wouldn't be activating until the third impulse. So the timing does matter. You have to do this like really methodical, step by step by step by step. And that's something that I think a lot of people will probably have confusion with when it comes to this game. The best recommendation I can give you guys is take it very slow and just walk yourself through it step by step by step as you go. So we will be drawing orders for them. Baker has gone. Yep, because all we had to do was the suppressive fire. Now we are going to red team. We are going to be drawing an order for this one that we don't know what it is yet. So let's draw an enemy card. And based, he is in cover. He's in normal, and he's going to be sneaking. All right, so let me grab a sneak order for them. Sneak order for the enemy. Let you guys see that. And it's got numbers on it. Now, this one tells us what direction he's going to be going in. All right. So it's 6'5". That one says 1'6". So I wonder if 6'5" seems more apt for them because that's going to be putting them in my direction. So I think we're going to stick with what's on the card. No, I was reading it again, and it's saying to go by the numbers that are listed on the counter. So yeah, we'll go with what's on the counter. because that's what's listed and it tells us, where to put this and the whole nine. So we'll trust the game setup. But that's making me a little curious because I was reading over it again, like, okay, well, why are there numbers here too? And in the book, it says to go by what's on the counters. So I'm not sure when you would use these over the counters. If someone knows, put it in there. I'll make sure and do some more digging, but I don't want to spend 10, 20 minutes right now trying to figure out the difference between the two of these. So just in case you know, put it down in the comments. But we'll stick with the order for now. All right, so that is the only red one that we actually have to activate or put an order on right now. Now, he's not going to do it. He's not going to start until the next round, which would be his movement. So he's going to be moving up and over. 1 is that direction, 6 is that direction. So he's actually going to be moving over into this hilly area over here. Okay, out of the building. We'll see how that works, but he's not going to be able to shoot anyway, so it's not a huge deal for me. Now we're going back to Abel. Because remember, just so you guys can see them over here, there are a couple more red, couple more blue guys. None of those guys are alerted yet. They're all still waiting until I start popping rounds in their direction or these two get over near them and alert them. So looking at Abel down here, for the first impulse, they're all going to be moving. And a couple of them are going to be moving in the same hex, which is going to be causing a spotting check. He doesn't have anyone. I was looking at the red. He doesn't have anyone he can spot, so don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I'm just going to have to move these guys up. He will be making spotting checks on them. He's going to be moving over. So they're going to be going that way, and they'll divide out after this turn. Yes, they can be in the same hex. All right, so now we're getting to blue, and blue's going to be activated. I need to draw an order for him, but he's not going to act on it, remember, because he's unprepared until the next one. So let's draw an order. He's in cover, so he's going to be evading. And actually, I think I just figured out where I was making the goof. There are multiple counters with multiple numbers on them. So whatever is listed on the card, that's what counter you put down. So I need to change that one for him. All right, so we switch these out for the proper counters. That way we know exactly where they're going. Perfect. All right, Gimpy figured out his goof. I do apologize. I'm human. I make mistakes occasionally, but you guys get to learn from them. So I figured out how that works now. Good to go. But since he is activated, he is going to be making some spotting checks against dummy 1, dummy 2, and dummy 3 and 4 down over here. And then that's going to be the end of the turn. If he fails these spotting checks, which I'm really hoping he does, then that means they still won't be able to see him, still won't be able to shoot at him. So no valid targets in line of sight and all that good stuff. But he's going to be moving towards my guys. Let's see. On impulse 2, he'd go 1, and then next, and then next, and then, yeah, so he's going to move 3 hexes, which means this would be actually 5, because impulse 2, he'd be starting with that, because I'm looking at it. First impulse, he'd go to 6, second impulse 5, third impulse 6. So for the second impulse, he would go here, then here, then here. So that's where his movement's ultimately going to end him up. But let's do our spotting checks real quick. Okay, so for dude and aim and the trees with aimed, his orders, well, let's see, that's actually going to be the same for both of those guys in the trees, because aimed, rapid fire, suppressive fire, that's all under this column. So we're going to be looking at trees. That's going to be a -2 modifier for our spotting check. And I don't believe any range penalties are going to apply here. So he's just getting a -2 to his troop quality of 4. So he's looking for 0, 1, or 2. Let's roll for him. Come on. No spotty. Okay, no spotty on the first guy. Second guy, no spotty. No spotty. No spotty. No spotty. Yeah, I like that. All right, down here, they're both in open, but they're both evading. So where's evading? Hide, rally, reload, sneak. Okay, here we go. Evade is under the same thing as grenade, rifle grenade. Smoke grenade. Okay, roger that. And they are in open, so that's a +1 with evade. That just no. I mean, it should be like a 0 with the evade. I just don't get that one. I mean, okay, maybe that makes a little more sense because grenades don't explode like the moment they're thrown in this game. The game kind of operates in a matter of seconds, so they're exploding later. So this isn't necessarily when the grenades are going off, but someone's throwing a grenade, which would be quiet. So I guess that could kind of make sense, but that sucks. He's probably going to spot both of those guys. All right, so spotting against, we're going to go with the leader since he's on top, and he's getting a +1. So that means I'm looking for freaking 6s or above. That's a spot. Yep, 100%. For a second, I thought he was good because I'm so used to 0s being 10. Second guy, 3. He spotted both. No good. But at least he's still on evade, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about him getting shot. So I am flipping both of these guys over to their green side, which means they have been spotted, and they will stay that way for the remainder of the game. So leader is now spotted. They can be shot at by the enemy. No! And all of this just happened in the first damn impulse. Man, there's so much going on. It's like tick and da-da-da-da-da-da. You know, they fire, he alerts, he does this, and now they've got orders, and now these guys got spotted over here, but the ones that were shooting didn't get spotted. It makes a lot of sense. That's so cool. All right. Well, let's go over to Impulse 2 now. All right. So I wanted to be able to get through a couple of turns a game. There's just so much going on, or a video. There's so much going on. I don't think I'm able to do that. All right. Now we're on second impulse. Now we're going to start with Baker. Baker's going to move here. Then we're going to shoot with this guy. We'll move up a little bit here. Now I get to do an aimed fire shot at Dummy, who hasn't moved yet. Oh no. At least my fourth impulse, I'll be shooting out here at him out in the open. But that's what I'm saying, how the initiative order so matters, because if he were already out, then I would be able to plink at him so much easier. So I'd much rather those blue guys going first. But that's a big reason why you have to assign your orders before the enemy get their initiative, because you could game the system severely if you knew what the initiative was going to be for the enemy. All right, so aim fire. We are using a Mongrand. He's definitely within that 4 to 10. Not going to get a modifier, only a rate of 1. And in a building, but now he's got an evade order. So that's going to get a -3 modifier. No. So bad. So bad. Damn. Sorry, if this thing tips out on me again, I'm going to have to take and get my other tripod out because it's giving out on me. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're doing that. He's getting a -3 modifier against his troop or his skill of 4. No other modifiers are applying. So unfortunately, that means I'm only hitting on a 0 or 1. That is really bad for me. Come on, give me that 0. And it was tiny bit cocked, but we'll call that a 9, which means he's got low ammo. Son of a butt. So we will grab a low ammo marker out and place on him with his first damn shot. Okay, dude, you suck. You are definitely a soldier. Miller, you can die. I'm going to run you out in the open. You're going to be a sacrificial offering. You did not bother to check your magazine before you started firing. All right, we got more suppressive fire coming from Baker. Screw it. We're going to roll 2 dice this time. Try to get that guy poking his head down since he's now moving around and doing stuff. All right, so it's only going to be the -2 with his weapon skill, so I'm looking at 3 or under. And I did get 1 hit, which means he is going to have to make a morale check. All right, so his troop quality is a 4. He definitely does not want that to go down, so he needs a 4 or under. If he rolls a 0, I think it goes up, Or, let's see. Yeah, 0, it'll go up. Underneath, it will not change. But it does have, or his morale go up. Down is bad for them. Let's see. He got a 6, which is actually good for me. That means his morale is going up. I'm having to keep track of this. Up is actually bad listed in the rule book. No, down is bad listed in the rule book. There's a little chart on it. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So here we go. He was here, so now we're actually sending him down to cautious, which is good for me. Let me grab out a cautious one. Perfect. So like I said, I'm only putting morales on these guys if they change off of normal. So normal, I'm not going to bother to put a morale counter on them. But if it is higher or lower than that, then I will put one on them. So this is actually going to reduce his effectiveness with his weapons, which is even better. That's a good thing for having suppressing going on. Good, good, good. All right. Sorry, like I said, I know we're going a little slow, but we're doing it by the book. All right, now we're on second impulse. He's doing 6-5. So his first is going to be 6, which is going to move him here. And that does not give him a line of sight to anyone he did not already have line of sight to or spotted. So that will complete red. Now we go back to Abel for their second impulse. And he's going to go here. He's going to go here. And he's going to go 1, 2, because he is running this way to get into the woods. So he'll go there and he'll stop on the next one with a duck back. Yeah, see, because he was here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he can duck back on his fourth one on his fourth impulse instead of moving an extra hex out. And our leader will be able to make it right here to this set of hedges. All right, so that's Abel for their second impulse. Now we go to blue for his second impulse. He is activating. He is going first movement. Will be there. So he's going towards 5. All right, which is right there. Does that give him a sight? Yes. So he can do another spotting attempt on these 2 dummies. No wounds or anything like that that's going to affect it. And he has line of sight to this guy as well. One guy down here that he has not spotted. So, yeah, he's trying to spot these 2 and this one. Tilt it down a little bit. All right. Let me look at my chart. They're firing. And in trees, that's going to be a -2. But he's got a -1 to his troop quality modifier because of his lowered morale, which means he's 3 with the -2. Modifying it. So that 0 or 1 to complete his spot over here. First one, miss. Second one, miss. And one guy down here. They're in the open and he's sprinting. That's going to be different. Let's see. Sprint. Sprint is here in the open. He's getting +2. That's actually going to help him. +2, -1 for morale. So that brings him to a 5. So he's looking for 5 or under to spot the last of Abel. And he definitely spots him. So, shit. That is all right, though. We kind of figured they were going to get spotted. Was hoping that might stick, but that's okay. I can't believe these guys still haven't gotten spotted. All right, so that actually finishes Impulse 2, and I cannot believe it took us this long just to get to this point. I think I'm actually going to pause it here because I'm taking a while. The video actually got chopped into a couple pieces already, so I should be around 30 minutes. We'll pick up with 3 and 4 Impulse. Like I said, guys, I know I'm going slow. I'm creeping through, and it's taking a little while to get it, but I want to take it slow because I know so many people are interested in this game. I have never got the amount of comments about a game from people, private messages, YouTube comments, the like, from people saying, I'm so glad you're covering this and showing this because I'm interested. It's been on my shelf. I wanted to get it out. So yeah, we're going to take it slow. I'm going to do it as right as I possibly can for all of you guys. As usual, if you got any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. We know the designer's watching, so he's definitely going to be pointing, Gimpy, you did this wrong right there. There was a modifier and you missed it. I'm just picking over your ass. I do appreciate you being there. That it does make it easier for people. And while we're at it, we're going to put Private Miller and a meat grinder for the asshole not checking his clip before the hell they got in action. I can't believe that. All right, we'll pick up with a third impulse, fourth impulse. Hopefully it will go a little bit quicker as I get a better grasp as we're going along. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.